News. And joining us now is Democratic Congresswoman Becca Balint of Vermont. She attended a No Kings protest in her state. So, Congresswoman, what was the issue or the reason that you heard today from protesters in Vermont about why they came out to protest?
They came out because they want to take back their power. They really want this country to be by the people, of the people, and for the people. And I was thinking about how the president has not gotten his rally around the flag moment, which often presidents do when they embark on military action, when they enter war. He hasn't gotten that for so many reasons. But what I saw today was a rally around the flag moment. So many people who love this country, who deeply care about their neighbors, who care about community, showing up for each other and understanding that it isn't going to just happen that we bring this democracy back in line with our values, our stated values in our founding documents. We have to make that happen. We are the ones that are going to make that happen. And so people were talking about issues that they care deeply about, the war in Iran, about mass deportation, but also about pocketbook issues. People feeling like they don't have hope that they're going to have a better life for their kids or their grandkids. And they really see that this president and the Republicans in Congress have lost the thread of what is important to most Americans. And I just saw a lot of joy. I was feeling a little envious. I saw the scenes from Los Angeles, lots of sunshine. We had some snow, lots of cold wind in Vermont, but it was amazing to see how many people turned out despite the freezing temperatures. People are really feeling a sense of energy from each other. It's palpable.
Congresswoman, I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what the ask was from the protesters that you interacted with. What are they asking or demanding that elected officials like yourself can do or should do?
They want us to not just fight back in the moment. They want us to promise them and to deliver for them a country that is going to work better than it's working for that has worked for working people in the past several decades. So what I heard over and over again is it can't be rebuilding what was there before. We have to be building something better that is possible for regular people to have a good life for themselves. And so I heard over and over again that it's going to be critically important that we think about who are the people that are benefiting from the system as it exists right now and who needs to benefit. And people are just disgusted with the Epstein class. They are disgusted by this Epstein presidency. They are sick and tired of billionaires and just a few corporations controlling their lives. And they want to have more say, not just every 4 years. They want to have more say and more control over their lives. They want to see us fighting, but they also want to see us hold administrative officials accountable for what they have done, for the grift, for the corruption. You know, I'm looking at you, Kristi Noem. I'm looking at you, Pam Bondi. And they're also so fed up with the incompetence. I heard that over and over again today about Pete Hegseth.
Congresswoman, can I play for you one of the protesters who was here in New York, self-identified as a MAGA supporter, and I'll get your thoughts and reactions to it on the other side. Take a listen.
I've been a MAGA supporter from the very beginning. You know, I believed in him. I thought that he would end wars, like he said in his campaign. He said he wouldn't start wars. He said he'd bring peace to the Middle East. Now look at us. We're further from peace and closer to catastrophe than ever before. I feel so betrayed.
So the word he said there is betrayed, and I'm sure a lot of Republicans and a lot of Trump supporters feel the same exact thing, specifically on something like the Iran war and getting us entangled in that. What's the opportunity that Democrats have here, and how do you connect? How do you speak to those potential Republican voters to win them over ahead of the midterms or potentially 2028?
I'm so glad you asked that, because we have to have a movement that is additive. And I know from talking with young men in Vermont who either sat out the election or did end up voting for Trump, for many of them, it was about this issue of entanglements in foreign wars. They feel deeply betrayed by this president. around that issue in particular. They want to make sure that they have a future ahead of themselves that doesn't involve going to war for reasons that are absolutely unclear to them. People say, we have no idea what we're doing in Iran. And so we as Democrats need to listen deeply to what people are telling us and not come to these conversations as if we are smarter or that we know more or that we're the only ones that can solve the problems. That's the problem with Trump. He tells people he's the only one that can fix the problem. None of us are as smart as all of us. And I am just so heartened by what I saw in some polling this week that about 20% of MAGA voters now are regretting their decision. And it's not our place right now to say we don't want you in our movement. We do want you in our movement. If you are interested in protecting and defending this Constitution, if you're interested in bringing us back in line with the rule of law, then we have to have a place for them. And I know that that can be very challenging because lots of people have been hurt by the MAGA movement. I am part of the LGBTQ community, and certainly my community has been absolutely attacked at every opportunity by this administration and by its apologists. That's true for every single person of color in this community and in the country as a whole. It's certainly true for the immigrants and the refugees who've come here who have been completely treated with such contempt by this administration. So I understand the frustration and I understand the anger and feeling like we need to cut people off. But if people are giving you an opportunity to sit with them and invite them in, we have to take that opportunity. And independents also are swinging our way. They have had enough. They've had enough.
Congresswoman, I have to ask you before we go about this DHS funding fight. It's starting to feel a little bit like Groundhog Day, the same proposals on the table, and very little movement on behalf of the American people. Of course, there was some excitement earlier this week when it seemed like the Senate had a deal on the table and maybe it would get through. Then Johnson tore that all up yesterday. So where do you see things heading now? And is it really up to the Republicans to figure this out, or are Democrats going to offer something, concede on any one of the reforms or points that they've made in this process?
Well, we have been at the table the entire time, and we will continue to be at the table. And what is shocking is that there was a bipartisan deal in the Senate. It looked like it was on a glide path yesterday morning when we came in to the Capitol yesterday morning. It seemed like, OK, we're going to have this funding deal. We're going to strip out ICE. We're going to have more conversations about how we reform and dismantle parts of ICE that are terrorizing our communities, making sure we have accountability for these officers, specifically also for the ones that killed not just Alex Peretti and Nicole Good, but all of the folks who have died in ICE custody. And so what is so important right now is that we are able to convey to the American people that we have to come together in bipartisan ways when it makes sense, when we can come together. But we can't just bend a knee. We can't just capitulate. And that's what I see Speaker Johnson doing.
All right, Congresswoman Becca Balint, thank you so much for your time. Always appreciate you joining us and sharing your thoughts.